Hello class. In this video we are going to deconstruct a vector portrait in the way that I show how to create one in my class. So what I have right here is a vector portrait that is in grayscale. Just uses black and white and different shades of gray in between. I like to focus on first working in grayscale simply because we are able to focus on the tonal values without having to worry about the hue and saturation of the color. Later on, we are able to add color. I could show you an example. Here is this portrait of myself in black and white, and here is a colored version. And it's the same file, the only difference is I applied color. So I'll come back to this in a future video, but let's go back to the black and white one. And what I'd like to show is how everything is created using a combination of different layers, and everything is in different pieces. So if I start to hide everything from the layers that are up on top, you'll notice that the top layers are, or I should say the layers that are underneath it are taking advantage that the seams are hidden by the layers that are on top. So here, for example, we're just going to remove different pieces. This is the headset, but even within here, it has its own layers, which you could look at later. This is the glasses. Then we have the hair layer. I have this top band, and also have this mini band that I call the shirt. It's on another separate layer. So right here you can see I separated the mouth, the face and the mouth. Then we have what I call the face base. Then I have this is the right frame in my shirt. And then we lastly have the background. Now I do also use an image to start off, and I will show how to bring in an image into your document so you can use it as a reference. And here, let's go ahead and go from the top bottom this time. Here's the headset, and even within the headset, it has its own layers. So I like to start off with the base, and then I create the details and go from top to bottom, meaning that I find the darkest ones. This one happens to be a highlight here, and we have another highlight. So since this is a dark item, but usually I go from dark to light. Here we have the glasses. So I'm just hiding the different tonal values, and this one has 4. So it has this highlight here, the secondary highlight. I'm going to minimize these 2 layers. The hair, it only has 3 layers. So you can see this is the hair base. So then I create the highlights and then the kind of mid-tone. We have the top band up here. It also has them. I'm not going to go through all of them because there's so many. This one also has a couple of paths as well. This should be up here. Then we have the shirt, which also has its own layers, its own levels. The face right here, and the face has lots of them. Now, you do not need to create as many of these different tonal values, but you're able to. So I usually do something like this with the face. We start off with the darks, and then we find the secondary darks, and we start going to the next darkest value that is available. And we slowly get to something that looks something like this. And we're going to go through that process. And here, let me actually, well, here, I'll show you what that looks like on the actual photo. I also have the different layers for the mouth as well. So I separated the mouth because I wanted these to be a different color. But you can see how I start off with the dark, and I am slowly going down, bringing out additional values as we continue this process. Here's the face base. Everything is created on this face base layer right here is kind of hard to see. Let me bring back this image right here just so you can see it. Then we have the right glasses, so my frame, and then the shirt. And notice that certain things I had to separate into two because I'm trying to now look at my image and what is, how can I separate into layers? What is in front? What is in back? So here, let me go ahead and start off with my image here. And what I first do is find like the face base. And I don't necessarily start off with a fill color. I'll create the shape, but I'm going to switch from a fill to a stroke by using the keyboard shortcut Shift X. And you can see that here I have this outline. I then find the main base layers. So I need the hair. So let me go into the hair and bring that here so you can see this. And like I said, I create them, but then I switch them from a stroke to a fill. And I want to point out right here where I know that the hair is going to create the top of my head. So when I'm creating the outline for my face, I don't have to ride this edge right here because the hair is going to create it. So you can see how I'm able to just cut across. And let's see, I also have this headband, the glasses. Here I'll bring the glasses. So I create this layer right here. And this one I had to also punch out these holes. I probably use the shape builder tool for that one. The same with this headset. So I have this shape right here. I'm going to Shift X. So you can see the different shapes. And let's see, we still need the hair, the top band. So I have this one right here. And then I believe there's another one. Then this shape right here. This one also has this little mini band. Let's see, I don't know why it's bringing both of those. Let me hide these right here. Stop that. Okay, there. So it has this shape right here. We're going to switch this. And then the shirt as well. So you can see the different shapes. And in a moment, I'm going to, let's see, there's nothing for the face. I'm just finding the base shapes and the shirt. Let me hide the source image. So right here, this one kind of looks a little bit disappears because it's so light. But you can see I create these base shapes, but again, I'm trying to find the different layers. And so I do that, and then I start off, we're going to just focus on the face, because the face has all the different layers here. And then once I have those values, now I don't do this typically on a black and white image. Let me go back into Photoshop. In here, Photoshop, I place this image into Illustrator so they're linked. So any changes that I make in this image here, so say for example I'm applying these changes here, I'm going to save this file and then I'm going to switch back into Illustrator. You're going to get this message saying that some files are missing or modified in links panels. Would you like to update them? I'm going to tell them yes, I do. So I get this. So you can see my colors are really dark. And sometimes what I do is they're already here, they're already being displayed, but I can't see them. So sometimes I'll even use a color other than black just so I could see those colors. So I might start off with something that's going to stand out like red, for example. I'm just going to deselect these. So these are the darkest values in my image that I could find. So I'll create those shapes using the pencil tool. Then once I have this, I'll then select the next darkest values. And so at this point, I might decide to, I might leave it as red, and then the next values right here. Or I want a value that I could see. So instead of red, maybe I'll just, because I'm working with black, might select this like dark value so that I could see where it's at. And then it's like, okay, now I need to select the next value. So this one happens to be the same color, but I'm going to go ahead and switch this to red, just so you could see those values that I created. So I have this. And right now, because these are all the same values that I want together, I could always select everything over here within the layer. And you can see within this layer 35, there's all these different shapes. I'm creating kind of like outline shapes. I'm not just creating lines, I'm creating different paths, different objects, different shapes. Because I want to be able to first, I'm going to Shift X to switch from a stroke to a fill. I'm creating outline shapes. And then once I'm done, I'm selecting all of them, applying the same color. So say for example I want this to be this gray, then I can press Shift X, which is going to change it from a stroke to a fill. And now I have this. Let me go ahead and hide my image. So it'll slowly create. Now, depending on how many tonal values you want to use, you're able to have as many or as few as you want to. My suggestion is at least 3 tonal values. You could get away with 2. It's a lot challenging. 3 is like what I would suggest, like a good minimal amount. And I just continue this process. So you can see these shapes right here. Now, let me go ahead and change these back to their original values. They should be just a little bit darker, just so that you can see them as I bring the next shapes down. So here, let me go ahead and deselect them. You can see these are these shapes. Add some additional dark values that I need to add. These are these shapes. These are these shapes right here. And you could always go back into Photoshop to change your image so that you could have different tonal values. There's other techniques that you could also do to be able to limit or change what your tonal values are. You could see within the image that I was using. I'm going to go back into Photoshop. I did apply these different adjustment layers. So this is the image as is. I added some contrast by using the different the levels command. I added a little bit more brightness and contrast so I could really change. I wanted to get this really bright highlights, and then I changed it to black and white so I could just focus on the different tonal values. And I did this for the face. I could do this for each individual object as well. I don't need to use this same variation for everything. Like say for example I might lose some of the detail within the hair, and right here I could see, okay, I could see more of the detail within the hair. I could see more of the detail within the headset, within the shirt. So it's up to you how you want to go about doing this. But I wanted to go over, not this one, I want to go over a method on how to, let's go back into Illustrator, of being able to change or how to create, how to deconstruct this. And each area that I created, this one also has their own individual levels. Now again, you do not need to go as extreme as I did for my own portrait. I was doing this for something very specific. I was creating a profile image for myself. So, I wanted to do this. I wanted to go a little bit all out. So I'm just going to bring back the different values for each one of these. And when I look at them, I'm switching them back. Whatever I had as outlines, I am bringing back as a fill. So you could see all the different pieces. My outline for my glasses. So the headset, Going to bring back all the different values there. Let's see. All right. So in the video that'll be coming up shortly, I am going to go over how to create a vector demonstration, a vector tutorial, a vector portrait uh, using a more limited amount of colors. So I hope this is helpful so you could see what to expect for this assignment. And here, let me just go ahead and bring this one back. I need my face base because this is, here we go, has that color. I'm going to deselect. And you know what? I think it's going to quit on me. Cancel. I don't want that. Okay, here it is. And I just want to show you that this one right here is the same version as this one. The only difference is I added color, and it's the same files. I was able to change the color or add color to each one of these. In a future video, I'll go over how to add color. But you can see that you can add color. I like to start off with black and white to be able to get the shapes, and then once I'm done, I go about adding color. So this was this file showing you how a deconstruction of this file. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing what you're able to create. I'll see you in a future video.